Did we just see a Money in the Bank cash in? This is your Raw review. What's up, Maniacs? My name is Mex. I'm a wrestling fan, a wrestling enthusiast, a WrestleManiac, if you will. And today we are talking about Monday Night Raw. It was a pretty solid show. Still coming from the Thunderdome, still got that atmosphere being pumped into the arena, if you want to put it like that. A lot of lengthy promos, but a pretty decent show. Raw isn't spectacular these days. We know that, but it is what it is. And like I said in the intro, did we just see a Money in the Bank cash in? Guys, for those of you that haven't seen the show, make sure you stay tuned to find out everything that happened on Monday Night Raw. Right here at WrestleManiac UK, I discuss everything that is WWE and AEW. So if this sounds like the place for you, make sure you hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. And whether you're listening, watching on Facebook or YouTube, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. It does a lot for the channel and we thoroughly appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into the review. And the show started with a Randy Orton promo who came out to the ring and he was telling us, look, everyone's after me. Drew McIntyre, The Fiend, Miz with his Money in the Bank contract. Everybody wants a piece of the Apex Predator. And he was telling us about the people he's put away, telling us how legendary this 14th championship win is and that he was never protected by the management. He's just always been the best. And that, you know, he's ready to take on all challenges. He's ready to take on all challenges. And with that, Alexa Bliss came out. Alexa Bliss really kind of front and center for the whole Firefly Funhouse, the Fiend stuff right now, especially in this particular episode. Alexa Bliss came out and Alexa Bliss basically was saying that, you know, I think she said something along the lines of the Fiend is all around us. The Fiend is here. Then we heard the Fiend's laugh and the lights went dim and everything like that. And when they came back on, Drew McIntyre into the ring, Claymore. So Drew McIntyre is now using the Fiend as a facade to kind of stick it to Randy Orton. And Drew McIntyre held the WWE Championship at Randy Orton and told him, you know, I want this back from you. I want it. I'm coming back for it. You know, give me my rematch sort of thing. As Drew McIntyre was leaving the ring area now, the opportunist, The Miz, came down, Money in the Bank contract in hand. Referee, he called the referee to come down as well. And The Miz tried to cash in his Money in the Bank contract right here, right now. And the announcement had begun. The Miz is now trading in, you know, the briefcase for the Money in the Contract opportunity, WWE Championship match. Obviously, remember, Randy Orton is down at this point. And then lucky for the Miz, the bell did not ring. So even as the Miz was cashing it in, the bell did not ring. Drew McIntyre ran down to the ring and took out the Miz and Morrison, who was at his side. Drew McIntyre making it very clear that he wants to be the person to pin Randy Orton for the championship, and alluded to this backstage in a promo saying that, you know, Randy Orton has a 6-foot+ bodyguard, basically, that no one's going to touch him until Drew McIntyre gets his hands on him so he can get his revenge for the WWE Championship. It's a really interesting story being told here because it's not the typical Drew's all moody and everything like that since losing. He's really upbeat. He's really, okay, I lost on the night. I want my chance back. He's proving that, you know, he is still WWE Championship caliber. So, yeah, pretty decent start to the show, this entire segment. Next up, we had Elias versus Jeff Hardy in a guitar on a pole match. Pretty standard stuff, you know. Elias always starts his segment coming out, trying to sing a song. Jeff Hardy cuts him off. A bit of to and fro in the ring. Nothing special at all. You're just waiting for whoever's going to climb up to the top rope and get the guitar down and use it. And Tom Phillips said at the beginning of the show on commentary that whoever smashed the opponent over the back with the guitar wins. However, Jeff Hardy retrieved the guitar from the pole and did this and still went ahead and pinned Elias for the win. He didn't actually win after smashing it on his back. So I don't know, a bit of confusion there, but Jeff Hardy got the win here. I believe Elias got the win on the pay-per-view, wasn't it? So I guess these guys are kind of equal now. Let's hope this doesn't last for any longer than it needs to, and that both men can move on from here. Next up, we had Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. The women's tag team championships were on the line here. Decent match again. Nothing to really ring home about. For long parts of this match, especially Lana came out and kind of was cheerleading for Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Obviously, she's got previous with Nia Jax, if you want to put it like that. And then for long parts of this match, this was just Dana Brooke and Shayna Baszler in the ring together. And I've seen a lot of comments online about the fact that Dana Brooke was offensively superior in a lot of this match over Shayna Baszler. And Shayna Baszler was selling for Dana Brooke. Now, I understand Shayna Baszler is, ex-MMA, an absolute killer in the ring. But, Dana Brooke isn't quite the jobber she used to be. Dana Brooke isn't Lana, for instance. So I guess, she has elevated somewhat, and there should be some level of selling from her offense by Shayna Baszler. I don't have an issue with it. I understand where people are coming from completely, but I don't have an issue with it. But yeah, this match literally was pretty much Dana Brooke and Shayna Baszler for a long time. And the match ended by eventually Dana Brooke bumped into Lana, who was on the apron, and then Shayna Baszler grabbed her for the Karafuja clutch, which made Dana tap out. And Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler left standing tall, still the women's tag team champions. Pretty decent match. I don't have much more to say about it apart from that. We had the next segment, which was R-Truth thinking he's going to take on, not even take on. He thought he was coming down to the ring to get his water bottle signed by Bobby Boucher. He was then corrected that, no, that's not the case. You will be facing Bobby Lashley in a match. Bobby Lashley comes down to the ring, looks brilliant. It looks absolutely brilliant. They've changed his music. I didn't know if that was the new Hurt Business music, which I thought it wasn't. It looks like Bobby Lashley's actual music has been changed. So yeah, he came down to the ring and R-Truth was pleading with him, which was quite humorous. Like, look, this is a non-title match. We don't have to get physical. R-Truth laid down in the ring and just said, pin me. And now walk out and it's done. Bobby Lashley wanted to inflict the hurt on him. Tried to grab R-Truth. R-Truth basically gave him a kick to the head, tried to get some offense in. There was like an Irish whip into the ropes. Bobby Lashley bounced off the ropes into an explosive spear onto R-Truth. Like R-Truth literally went spinning. Like I couldn't believe how explosive this was. And then he was picked up and put into the Hurt Lock and passed out in the Hurt Lock. Didn't actually tap, passed out in the Hurt Lock. Now, as Bobby Lashley was trying to leave the ring, the match is won. Drew Gulak runs out from down the entranceway, and he wants to obviously pin R-Truth for the 24/7 championship. You see Bobby Lashley pick up Drew Gulak, puts him in the Hurt Lock. Drew Gulak's tapping out. I think he passed out. Bobby Lashley then threw the prone body on top of R-Truth. There was a pin. And now Drew Gulak is the 24/7 champion. And I guess he didn't even really know about it. So a bit something different. They done with the 24/7 championship this week. Can't say I'm still interested in that title at all. But as they say, we move. So there was a bit of a, I don't know, you call it a melee, like a just a mess within the Raw Survivor Series tag team scene. Before we get onto that, though, guys, if you are enjoying this review, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, whether that's on Facebook or YouTube. We thoroughly appreciate all the love that you guys give right here at WrestleManiac UK, and it does loads for the channel. So I thoroughly appreciate if you can hit that thumbs up button. Right, so Raw Survivor Series men's team. AJ Styles comes down to the ring, and AJ Styles is basically selling his credentials, the fact he should be the captain of the men's Raw Survivor Series team. Whilst doing this, he invites down his current team members, the ones that have been decided, Sheamus and Keith Lee, down to the ring. And Keith Lee, this is a long-winded promo segment, including a match, which was very good, but we'll get there. Keith Lee says, look, I never made you captain. I don't believe in you as captain, all this kind of stuff. Sheamus said, look, I have to agree with Keith Lee that, you know, I don't believe you should be captain. And all three men were bickering about that. Braun Strowman comes out the entranceway, and Braun Strowman says, look, you need a monster on the men's Survivor Series team. I am that guy. Put me on the Raw men's Survivor Series team. He deserves to be on it. Keith Lee says, look, we all had to qualify. You don't just get to walk onto the team. And Braun Strowman says, qualify? Do you know my credentials when it comes to Survivor Series? You know, he had a very long list of stuff. And I was thinking, has Braun even been around for that long to have all of these qualifications that he's saying that he has? But to be fair, he has probably been around for about 5 years. So I guess it kind of makes sense. All in all, Adam Pearce comes out and says, look, I tried to get you a qualifying match to be on the team, Strowman, but no one wants to fight you. And in the end, AJ Styles comes up with this terrific idea that Keith Lee and Sheamus will almost gatekeep that position. Keith Lee versus Sheamus versus Braun Strowman for the position of Braun Strowman on the men's Survivor Series team. If Strowman wins the match, he gets to make the team. All men agreed. All men want to kind of take on each other. Beefy match, monster match. And this match was literally that. It was a really, really good match. I may even say this was my match of the night. No, it wasn't my match of the night. I just thought of another match. But this was a really good match. Like, just a big man brawl. There was a really scary spot in it where we saw Keith Lee, like he went to do one of his over the top rope, like suicide dives. He hit his head on the apron. Not the guys on the outside fault. I think he kind of undershot, or the rope didn't give him enough bounce to miss the apron completely, but hit his head on the apron. His body and legs hit the guys. Yeah. Bit of a rough spot, but there was a lot more going on. Keith Lee didn't seem to be hurt, got up and continued with it. In the end, we saw Sheamus hit Keith Lee with a bro kick. Keith Lee rolled to the outside of the ring. Strowman got into the ring, picked up Sheamus, power slam, and got the win. So Strowman is now on Team Raw, the Raw men's Survivor Series team. And in the end, AJ Styles came into the ring. He was on commentary for the match. Came into the ring and was like, guys, you know, let's all put this all behind us. We're all on the same team now. Let's all shake hands. Keith Lee shook the hand of Braun Strowman. Sheamus didn't want to shake the hand of Strowman, went in for a hug. So him and Strowman had a hug. And then Strowman got a bro kick in the face. So a little bit of a swerve there by Sheamus. And then Keith Lee knocked Sheamus out the ring as well. So the team's in a bit of disarray right now. But I guess come Survivor Series, you know, they are looking like apart from AJ Styles, this looks like a really monstrous kind of team. So very, very interesting. We had a Firefly Funhouse segment next where, you know, like I said earlier, Alexa Bliss is fully in the funhouse now. She is side by side, like 1A and 1B with the Fiend. And, you know, if I dare say it, she is looking, you know, really comfortable and even more impressive than Bray Wyatt, you know, really entertaining. I guess maybe it's just a factor of it's something new, but yeah, she's doing some great work in there right now in this new character. However, there wasn't a lot said here, in my opinion. They were just again reminiscing back to Randy Orton being a very bad man in the past, burning down the Wyatt compound in the past. And then Alexa Bliss had some really freaky trick that she did with her tongue. We had Bray Wyatt put the heel hand glove over her head. And when she removed it, she had the contacts in, really scary eyes. And then her tongue was just like pouring out of her mouth. Like, very interested to see. I wonder if she's going to get like her own Fiend character. I've been thinking about this because obviously he is Bray Wyatt and then the Fiend. Will she then be Alexa Bliss and then Sister Abigail? I don't know. Like, will she get her own kind of supernatural character out of all of this? Because she looks like she is turning towards this. Later on, there was a segment where Nikki Cross went to find Alexa Bliss backstage and bumped into her and was like, Lexi, you've changed, blah, blah, blah. I haven't really been returning my calls. Alexa Bliss was just completely no-selling Nikki Cross being there completely. And eventually turned around. She had the contacts in, really kind of, you know, dazed look, if you want to call it that. Is Alexa Bliss going to get her own Fiend-ish character? What do you guys think? Let me know down below in the comments. But yeah, that was that section. And then moving on, we had Lana versus Nia Jax. Now, Nia Jax had said backstage that she's going to put an end to Lana's career. Like, how dare she get involved or try to get involved in my women's tag team championship match? You know, this is my livelihood. I'm a champion. You're trying to put that at stake. Nia Jax promised to end Lana's career, and they got into a match, and it was one-way traffic. It was really one-way traffic to the point where, you know, we had Nia Jax going for covers and just picking up Lana and saying, no, you know, I'm not done yet, that kind of thing. Several times, and then we saw in the end, Nia Jax got the win with a Samoan drop. Went to leave the ring area, went back with Shayna Baszler, stripped the commentary table, and we had Nia Jax put Lana through the commentary table for a 7th week in a row, ladies and gentlemen. I'm quite bored of it, personally. I think, like, what are they trying to achieve here? Are they trying to humanize? I say humanize, but like make Lana a face? Like, I don't really get it, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know really at all what they're trying to do. Moving on, we had the New Day versus Hurt Business, and again, a very lengthy promo to start this segment. Pretty good one though. Hurt Business were in the ring, and you know, they basically said that they've done everything they said they were going to do. Bobby Lashley, they had a little address to Sami Zayn over on SmackDown with Bobby Lashley facing him at Survivor Series, and they said, look, they want to take on the Street Profits at Survivor Series. That means they they have to become tag team champions, and so Cedric and Shelton Benjamin were building towards their tag match with the New Day. New Day came out and cut a promo saying that, you know, they had respect for the certain members inside of Hurt Business, but then it turned a bit ugly, started making fun of each other. They harped back to Lana and Bobby Lashley. And then they had a match, and this was my match of the night. It was a very good match between, you know, 4 able guys, the New Day, and then Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. Really good match between all of these guys, and in the end, Cedric Alexander pinned Xavier Woods. So I'm sure before Survivor Series, we are going to see a New Day versus Hurt Business match for the tag team championships. I'm sure New Day will probably retain, but it is good to see, you know, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander moving into that direction. getting an opportunity over there in the tag division. Tag division is very, very light, as we know. So it is good to just see something different. And yeah, this was a really good match. Next up, we had Ricochet versus Tucker, and Tucker was already in the ring and basically had a whole new look. They've clearly just dropped everything he was doing with Otis. I know Otis is on another show, but yeah, to the point where the back of his tights said Knight, which I guess his full name before WWE always chopped down your names was Tucker Knight. So now he's wearing Knight on the back of his trousers, still answering Tucker, different packaging altogether. Anyway, he was already in the ring. He was facing Ricochet, and this match was just a load of nothing. Ricochet won with his code breaker kind of move in no time at all. During the match, or just before the match even got started, Mustafa Ali walked down to the ring, stood on the commentary table, just watched on. Like I say, the match didn't last long at all, and Mustafa Ali came down, got in the ring, and basically called the other members of Retribution to get in the ring, and they beat Ricochet and threw him out the ring. Tucker was still in the ring. They beat Tucker, and then they called Slapjack to get Ricochet back in the ring, which he did, beat Ricochet a bit more, and Retribution just posed. What is happening with Retribution now? You know, it looks like they've kind of put them a bit lower down the card. Maybe they can get some wins, build some momentum. I don't know. But Mustafa Ali and Ricochet having a feud out of this, not the worst thing ever. Obviously, those are two very, very able guys with brilliant skill sets. So, yeah, wouldn't be the worst thing at all if that was to happen. Last but not least, we had a 2-on-1 handicap match back from where we started at the beginning of the show. Miz and Morrison to take on Drew McIntyre. They know that Drew McIntyre is going to stop them from cashing in on Randy Orton. So I guess the thinking here is to take out Drew McIntyre so that no one is in their way. And again, this was a pretty enjoyable match. Nothing spectacular, but just a pretty enjoyable match. You know, the heels doing what they can, a lot of 2-on-1 offense, a lot of doing stuff when the referee's not looking to try and get one over on Drew McIntyre. And in the end, everything they tried came to nothing because, as I'm sure you would have all guessed, Drew McIntyre got the win with a Claymore kick over Miz. It just kind of tells you that this Money in the Bank isn't going to be cashed in, because even if Drew was going to get the win here, why would he have needed to pin the Miz? You know, they should be building the Miz if he was going to win from the Money in the Bank cash in. You see what I mean? Morrison could have taken the pin here, but for Miz to take the pin just shows me, you know, he isn't gonna cash in. Whenever he does his actual cash in and the bell does ring, he's not gonna win it. So yeah, I guess that is what it is. Drew McIntyre gets a win over these guys in the handicap match. And I don't know if you were, but I was completely waiting for it. You know, the camera wasn't the wide angle. It was very narrow on Drew McIntyre. So it only told me that we are going to get an RKO to finish the show. And we did. Randy Orton runs in with an RKO on Drew McIntyre, stands tall in the end. And just as it looks like the show is about to end, well, it did more or less end, but we had the Fiend's laughter in the background, which kind of spooked out Randy Orton. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Raw. You know, like I say, a pretty decent show, nothing spectacular. For me, Alexa Bliss was the standout in this episode. She is absolutely killing what they are giving her in relation to the whole Fiend storyline. The whole she slash the Fiend is one of many targets going after Randy Orton for this WWE Championship. And it's so funny the way a lot of other titles are building towards the title, you know, the champion versus champion match at Survivor Series. But Randy Orton hasn't even got time to look at Roman Reigns yet. You know, he's very, very busy, occupied by the Fiend, Drew McIntyre, and The Miz. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. You know, it is kind of dull in places, but that storyline anyway is pretty good. And like I say, Alexa Bliss is just a complete standout right now. Guys, if you enjoyed the review, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. It does loads for the channel. We thoroughly appreciate it. And if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.